Well, here we go. Line of showers moving through the area. Tornado watch goes till 7 o'clock. Winds are going to increase behind this front. Nothing drastic, but the cloud's going to linger into Saturday as moisture wraps around this departing low pressure center. First radar. Look at this line of showers here. This is the front. I'll zoom in on this and show you that we do have that warning for Wicomico, and we also have the warning for Dorchester. That's beginning to move off to the east now, but these are heavy cells. You're going to get some brief torrential downpours with these. They could put down a brief damaging wind gusts too. Lighter cells on down to the south, and there's not a lot of upper level energy with this now. It's beginning to lift on by, and we didn't get that warm today, so the risk of severe weather is
tornado warning in Sussex County.
Tornado warning, Sussex County. Okay, we're going to go back to wall-to-wall coverage here. We do have a tornado warning. This cell right here is just coming in on Seaford. If you're in the Seaford area, take cover right now. This thing, you see the little hook there? That's the one I'm afraid that could produce a damaging wind gust, and NOAA is now seeing a spin up in that. So I'm going to step off screen so I can look at this, okay? And then we'll go ahead and go control room to full screen here, and we'll monitor this. We're going to stay on the air and continue to track this as long as we have the tornado warning in effect here. And let me get the latest on this. Tornado warning until from 5:17 till 5:45 for Sussex County. And I'll read you exactly what they said on this as you look at this. And let me adjust the radar here real quick. Okay, the warning for Sussex County, yes, it's for the area near Seaford. Weather Service seeing a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near Sharptown, 10 southeast of Hurlock, moving northeast 45. And we'll look at the rotation. There's pretty good rotation now. I'm going to zoom in on this very closely. So I'm going to line this out here and show you a track on this. The tornado possibly trying to develop is right in here. It's going to be moving northeast at a pretty good speed here. In an hour, it'll be well across the area. So that's just kind of a track here. Sharptown, Laurel, Broadacres, Georgetown, if it holds together, it would be in there in the next little bit. And let me just clear this back off a second here. There we go.
How strong are the winds we're checking right now?
The winds right now in this system, well, the upper level, the velocity winds in the storm are not that strong. I'm going to go ahead and pop out and go to that, Steve, and show folks what that is. And I've got that ready to go here just in case. So let me go back up here. It's going to take me a second.
You go ahead and do that for a second.
Right.
We'll let you catch your breath here. So, folks, a tornado warning has just been issued for western Sussex County. It came down at 5:17. It's in effect until 5:45. And you can see plenty of red on that screen there. Folks in the Seaford area, you need to be advised. And if you're south of Seaford and Laurel, even all the way down the Delmar, there at the very least are some severe storms coming your way. And as Dan,
I'm going to show you velocity here in just a second. I'm bringing it up right now here.
So all the usual precautions now in play, folks. You know, stay away from those windows if you were in the Seaford area or western Sussex County. Make sure you have your shoes on. All of those kind of precautions that you always need to take in the event of a storm. Stay in the middle part of your house.
And all right, here we go.
Yeah,
I'm bringing it in for you right now.
Thank you. And again, take all the necessary precautions.
Okay, there's velocity, Steve, and I'm not seeing anything that looks really bad in that, but I'm going to go to storm relative velocity. That may be a bit more instructive. I think it will be on what this storm is doing.
So you're showing us Laurel, and is the main problem is a little bit further north, right?
Yeah, it's going to be actually southwest of Seaford.
Okay.
That's where the tornado warning is. Goes up. See the pink box? All right, that pink outline of that box, that's where the storm is, or that's where the warning is, right in here. Mm-hmm. And then the circulation is back here southeast of Vienna, moving toward Laurel and Seaford. It's going to be really close to in between both of those places in the next few minutes. I'm going to switch up to this bank here, so give me just a second here. And no, I don't want to close. Yes, I do. Oh, I better not do that while we're on the air. I'm going to go back to this and just work from over here, Steve.
That's fine.
It'll mess people's screens up at home, and I don't really want to do that.
Understood.
Okay.
So as we, you know, when you go back to that other screen, you know, what I've been taught to look for is, you know, when you've got the red and the green on the radar right next to each other,
right.
then we've got
it's right there. You can see it right there. Now, I will tell you, you have red and green. That's winds toward and away from the radar. But if for a real tornado, you would want to see really strong winds toward the radar and right next to away. This thing is trying to develop. I don't think there's a tornado there right now. One of the reasons I can say that is this storm is really close to the Doppler in Sussex County. It's in northern Sussex County. That Doppler radar has a really good view of this storm. Now, it did get a rotation in it for a while. It's a strong cell, and conditions today are such that there's not a lot of instability, but the wind shear is very, very favorable for a tornado to develop. And so sometimes you can get a tornado on a day when there's not a lot of instability, but there's a lot of wind shear. To get a big tornado, you need both.
Right.
We don't have that today, but you can get a spin-up tornado on a day like today. This cell tried to do that. I could see it when I was starting to do the weather, the Lex scan that we got. It had started to get fairly strong, and that's why I said this thing could produce a damaging wind gust, because I was beginning to worry about it a bit.
But not like what we saw almost a year ago to the day in Bridgeville and Greenwood in that area where conditions really were ripe.
They
and
were
that was
very,
what was that, EF3?
Yes, it was a very warm day. We had very high wind shear. We had quite a bit of instability, so we had both enough to do that
And that's
day.
we were concerned today that the sun was going to come out and then the atmosphere was really going to start boiling and then these storms were going to bubble up. That has not been the case. We've kind of dodged a bullet so far. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and the other thing, I'll pull this back out and show you kind of what we call the synoptic situation, because what's also going on here right now is that we have a warm front in the area. And I'll go ahead, I think I can draw that in here. I'll go ahead and draw this warm front for you if I can. There we go. So the warm front right now is going right across the area like that. South of that warm front, down in Pocomoke City, it's really much warmer. And you get down toward Norfolk, you're in the 70s. North of the front, it's much cooler. And then we have a cold front coming in from the west. Now, tornadoes like to form just north of a warm front. That's a favored location. So we have a cell crossing the area. It gets strong. All of a sudden, we realize we've got the warm front just south of it. This is a classic case. So this is why the National Weather Service in Wakefield went ahead and issued this tornado warning. It was starting to get some rotation. It was a strong cell, and it's just north of the warm front. It was one of those, a warning does you no good if you get it as it's happening.
Absolutely.
They're trying to give us a heads up that this thing might develop, and that's what they did here. So do we have a large tornado on the ground? No, we do not. We may see a brief spin-up tornado in this cell.
No evidence of a tornado on the ground. And also, just as a reminder, to our viewers out there, you are our eyes and ears. And if you see anything, go ahead and take a video, take a picture, send it to media@WBOC.com, and we will share them on the air as we can keep people informed as to what's going on. But
And
again,
be safe doing that, though. If you see something heading your way, get under cover.
absolutely, but not even Doppler indicated at this point.
In control room, you said something to me. Go ahead and repeat that, please. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's, is that Seaford?
Yeah, that's Seaford.
You can see it's dark, gloomy, and raining there.
Right.
The bad thing about a tornado is they happen usually on the back edge of a thunderstorm, on the other side of the rain. So if you've got one coming towards you, you're in the rain. You're not going to likely see it. That's almost always the case. Sometimes the rain wraps all the way around these things, and you'll not see it till it hits you, and then may not even see it. I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of other things here. I'm going to look at the.
As you do that, let me
Go ahead.
welcome our viewers on WBOC as well now who are joining us. We were in the middle of our 5 o'clock broadcast on Fox 21 when this tornado warning came from NOAA at 5:17. It's for western Sussex County. You see the pink box on your screen there.
Yeah.
And it is in effect until 5:45.
5:45.
Nothing indicating that there's a tornado on the ground. There's nothing even Doppler indicated. But as a precaution, as they should, NOAA has issued this tornado warning. As we zoom in on that, you can see there is a fair amount of orange there, indicating heavy rain.
And Steve, I'll show you where the rotation is in this storm. It's right here. So it's kind of wrapping the rain a little bit around this way and rain going up this way. So right in here is the rotation. It's coming right up right now on the border with Sussex County.
Right, near Sharptown, just south of Sharptown.
Yep, right there. That's where it is. And that's why we're going to watch. Now, this is not an intense rotation. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up a backup radar and just take a look at that. Always nice to get a different view on this. And let me go to storm relative.
You can see the rain really starting to come down from our Seaford camera now. They're starting to see the effects of that. Again, nothing in terms of a tornado is,
Yeah,
is on the ground. This is our protocol here at WBOC and Fox 21. When there is a tornado warning, we get on the air. We stay on the air until the warning is lifted.
And right now, I'm looking at a different radar view of this. This is just moderate rotation.
Right.
And again, I certainly think the National Weather Service in Wakefield was right when they saw this thing really spinning up just north of a warm front. All the bells and whistles start going off in your head. This is a favored location for a tornado. Now I've got a strong thunderstorm that suddenly developed. I'm seeing some rotation in it that went ahead and issued the tornado warning. One, because it's coming into populated Sussex County, Seaford, Laurel, all the way across that county, quite a bit of population there. And so better safe than sorry. Are we likely to see this verify? Probably not. But in the past, we've had one of these kind of cells produce an EF2 tornado or EF1 that hits like a mobile home park and ends up killing people. So the best thing to do right now is to go ahead and issue that. So we're going to track this thing, but the good news right now is that we do not see any strong rotation in this.
Let's go back to our Seaford camera if we can, please,
Yeah,
because
look at
I
that.
feel like, is there, I've seen what maybe could be hail.
Maybe, and I'm seeing some pretty good wind. Look at the wind in that thing. It's blowing as well, but it's really pouring rain. They're right in the core of it now. The core of that cell is just right smack on top of them. And Seaford is, it's in the heavy part of the storm, but the back edge, of course, is where the rotation is. And they're probably going to see that circulation pass just south of them. But yeah, that's the heavy downpours, torrential rains I was talking about just before the tornado warning came out. And a few people are going to get this and get a half an inch of rain, and other people are going to get almost no rain. These cells are kind of scattered along the front, and the front may come through your area and you not get any rain at all. Boy, it is really coming down over there, isn't it? Look at that. Just
And in that
torrential
Seaford
rain.
area, they've probably got another, 15, 20 minutes of this.
No, more like 8 or 9. It's moving at a pretty good clip. Now, the way it's moving is the
look at
core
the
of the rain
on
is
the
going
road
to
there.
stay with them for a while. But I do think, it's starting to edge up a little bit there. But boy, they are really getting torrential rain there. And that's,
So this
that's
thing
the kind
is
of thing.
moving pretty quickly.
Yep, about 45 miles an hour. The upper level winds are really going. And when I talk about wind shear, I'm talking about what you want for a tornado. If you want to make a tornado in the atmosphere, one, you have to have instability so that bubbles of warm air near the ground, as they rise up, they keep going up because the air around them is colder than the bubble of rising air. And if you have a big temperature difference between that bubble of rising air and the air around it, that's instability. That's one ingredient. The other ingredient is wind shear. And by wind shear, I'm talking about the winds at the ground may be out of the south, maybe at 15 miles per hour. You go up 1,000 feet, they're southwest at 20. Go up another 1,000, 2,000 feet, they're south-southwest. And then by the time you get up to, say, 15, 20,000 feet, they're out of the west-northwest at 80 miles an hour. So you have not only direction changing with the wind, that's directional shear, but you also have velocity shear where the wind speed is increasing with height. That's the kind of thing we look for. And it has to be kind of a certain, I won't go into it, but it has to be a certain type of wind shear where the winds are backing with height. We do have quite a bit of that today. It's not perfect, but it's elevated. And that wind shear is enough to cause a storm in the atmosphere that's extending up several miles in the atmosphere to start to rotate. And then if you get enough of an updraft in there, that updraft pulls that blob of air, and it's almost like pulling a piece of taffy or something. You pull it up and it gets into a smaller string of taffy, like an ice skater, rotating, and then she brings her arms in and spins up.
Right.
It's the same thing that happens with a tornado. You pull that air up into a tube, it's already rotating, it'll rotate faster. We started to see that with this storm, what we call a mesocyclone, a small-scale, low-pressure rotation. So all this storm had to do then was to have a good updraft and really pull it up, and we could get a tornado.
So as we watch the clock, we've got about 13 minutes left of this current warning for western Sussex County. Don't think that it's going to be extended based on what you're seeing on the radar?
No, and we'll go back to it, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I am not seeing any strong enough rotation here. I'm going to pull it up.
There have been these tornado warnings where we have been on the air for hours as the system has marched its way across from the upper eastern shore to Sussex County. That is not the case today.
Yeah, it certainly is. The rotation such as it is right on Laurel right now, just passing Laurel. And I can tell you that, yeah, it's pretty weak. It's not going to be enough for this tornado warning to be extended. The entire cell now is not as strong. However, there's a clue on radar.
See, now look at our, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but now look at our Seaford camera now. Things are starting to clear. I see blue sky appearing.
Yeah, off to the west. They got a drenching, but it's pretty much ending now.
Yeah, let's go ahead and punch that up, please. There it is.
Look
at the sun starting to poke through. I'd be curious, control room, if we could call up the camera high atop our tower in Laurel, which is apparently getting pounded right now.
I bet it is. They're about to get pounded, that's for sure. I can bring that up on here if they can't. So they're going to bring it up for us. Okay, there you go. Oh, okay. Could you all turn that camera? Oh, I'll control it. Hang on. I'm going to jump over here and control this. I want to look up to the north here. I can see the back edge of this storm really well.
Right.
All right, you're going to see me move the camera here in a minute, folks. I'm just going to take a little right turn on that.
It takes a little bit of time.
There we go. Okay, there's the back edge of this storm.
So that's looking north.
Yeah. There's the back edge of this storm right there. I'm going to go a little bit left here.
Right.
So this is good news. I can see the rain-free, what we call the rain-free base in this storm. This is the part of the storm where the air is rising up into it, where it's not raining. And I've got a pretty good view of that. If a tornado were to develop, that's where it would be. And the good news here is, hold on a second. Hang on a second. Sorry, folks, I'm going to pause for just a second here. I may be seeing something, and okay, I'm okay. I just want to zoom in on this. It was just a raindrop on the lens, but I thought I might be seeing something debris coming up.
No.
And it's just scud. I'm going to zoom in a bit higher here just to make sure.
So again, we got about 11 minutes left on this tornado warning. We have not gotten the all clear yet from the National Weather Service, but we are keeping an eye on things just as a precaution, as we always do. Again, if you were in the Seaford, Laurel areas, as the storm was hitting and you had your camera with you and you took some video or a picture, go ahead and email them to us. Email at it's media at WBOC.com.
And I'm just watching the back edge of this storm really very carefully because I can actually see what I'm looking at on radar here. And it's right in here is the back edge of this cell. And I'm just watching that very closely. There's a raindrop on the screen that made me think I might be seeing some debris popping up, and I wanted to make sure that I was not seeing that, and I'm not. So that's the good news. Now, on the radar here, let me show you something here, because the radar is telling me right where the rotation in this storm is, and I'll show it to you right now. It's right in here. And again, the rain is being dragged back a little bit in this direction, and it's forming and being dragged up in that direction. So the radar is telling me this is where the updraft is in this storm. So it's right on Laurel right now. It's moving toward Jones Crossroads. But again, this rotation is fairly weak. And again, you're looking at our picture here. I'm going to zoom back out let's stay with that camera, folks. In control room, we need to stay on that camera for a little bit. That's the one I need to look at because I'm looking right smack into the snout of the storm from that camera. It's perfect right now. I can see that area I circled on radar. And there you go. Here we go. I'm going to pull this back around to the right a little bit. But you can see this.
Some low clouds. That camera is 800 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
And so you get a sense of how low the clouds are.
Yeah. And again, there's the cell right there. I'm going to keep going a bit more to the right here. Just a bit more, and I'll pull out a little bit. Get a better
that's
view
quite
of
the line right there.
Yeah, and there's, a lot of scud down low. We're seeing a lot of that. That's typical. But, yeah, this is the back edge of this cell now. It's moving right on through pretty quickly. It does not show any lowering. Now, there's the rain right there coming down. So the back edge of the storm is off to the left here, and this is where storm chasers would be over. I can move my cursor here. Storm chasers would be in this area following the storm, if they knew what they were doing.
So I find it interesting here as this warning winds down and this storm marches east, northeast, that not even a severe thunderstorm watch has been issued,
Well, we have a tornado watch.
Okay, so but for that outside that watch box, that's still in effect, though, right?
Right. Yeah. They're in the tornado watch goes till 7. It does cover Sussex County, so they have a tornado watch and now a tornado warning up in that county. Okay. So they've got everything covered here. Again, the risk of severe weather is again really slight today.
Yeah.
You can see some, boy, look at this. And you can really see some of those low clouds rotating in and around this system here
Right.
as we look at this cell. I'm going to
Yeah,
pull
just
back
to
out.
clarify, this is a warning that is still in effect.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that the watch remained in effect for the other parts of Del Mar.
Yeah, oh
until
yes,
7 o'clock.
absolutely. Yeah, all of Del Mar is still under the watch, but it goes only till 7.
Right.
And I do think we'll probably see the end of this watch fairly, well, probably they're going to hold it until 7 o'clock. I'm going to zoom out here. I want to make sure there's no other cells that are scaring me. There's Princess Anne. That doesn't look bad. And then off to the north, up toward Milford, that's just a line. That's nothing up there. And then you get up toward Newark. There's some heavy downpours coming into Smyrna and Dover. You folks are going to get some good rain out of that. But the only really cell that's trying to show some weak rotation, and that's what it is now, is weak rotation, is that one east of Laurel. And I'll take another look here of the other radar
Yeah,
here.
and once you're finished there, we'll go ahead and we'll give the folks in central Sussex County, the Georgetown area, it looks like it's going to slide north of Millsboro.
Yeah, yeah. The heavier rain is going to hit Georgetown. The
Right.
actual rotation may pass just south of there.
But Georgetown, Lewis, Rehoboth, you're going to get a taste of this.
Yeah, I'm now got a new look on radar here, and again, I'm not seeing anything that scares me anymore. The worst this thing could do is produce a wind gust or in the EF0 tornado with a 60 to 75 mile per hour wind gust that might bring some shingles or stuff off, or maybe knock a little tree down, bring branches down mainly. But the good news here is this thing is no longer nearly as strong as it was. I can still see the outline of near Laurel of that rotation on this thing, but again, it's weak rotation. We actually see this kind of rotation on storms quite frequently. It's nothing as strong as it was when they issued the warning 30 minutes ago. So
Right.
the good news there is, and that warning, by the way, the edge in the pink box here goes right to Georgetown. Beyond that, there's not a tornado warning.
Yeah, doubt they'll extend it.
Yeah, no, they won't.
yeah.
Another thing, I'm going to get emails from people saying my WBOC weather app didn't go off, and I live in Sussex County. Well, if you live east of Georgetown by 2 miles, or if you live in Ocean View or Dewey Beach or Lewis, or north of that box, north of Bridgeville, your app will not go off. It bases whether or not to go off and alarm you based on where that polygon is.
You have to be in the box.
Yeah, if you're in that pink box, it will go off. Trust me, I've had it go off on me before. So we all have them here. And if you are in the box, I've been working in the weather office watching a cell, and all of a sudden I'm looking away and my phone goes off. Sometimes it beats the weather circuits we have by about 10 seconds.
Right.
So it's very quick. About the time they punch the button at the National Weather Service to your app going off is usually 10 seconds or less. It's quick.
So again, this tornado warning remains in effect for another 4.5 minutes,
Yeah.
and we're going to stay on just in case. We were in the middle of our 5 o'clock news on Fox 21. We got the news at 6 coming up on BOC.
You know what I might do, Steve? Since we got 4 minutes and this thing's dying down, I'd never finished the weathercast at 5. So why don't I just look at that beautiful shot there, the green fields. Boy, we've had enough rain, huh?
Right.
But what I thought I might do here is I'll just jump in here and just give you a summary of what we're looking at weather-wise for the next couple of days here. So I'm going to pop this in. Let me pull it down here, and I'll just pull that up right now and just kind of give you an idea of what's going on here. We got time for me to give you a decent longer weathercast. So in general, the tornado watch expires at 7. The winds are going to increase behind this front. The clouds are going to wrap back around. This low pressure is going to really wind up over New England. That's going to give us gusty winds. Moisture is going to wrap around it. A typical springtime storm, by the way. It's going to be cloudy, windy, and there may even be some showers during the day. Because of the cold air aloft, we're going to have a lot of cloud in the day, and it'll clear up at night, and you think, oh, we're done with the clouds, and then the clouds come back the next day. That's what's going to happen. There's the line of cells moving right now. We're across Wacomico County. There's that cell in Sussex County that has had a tornado warning on it, just east of Seaford now. That thing's still moving along, and there's not much down to the south at all. There's one little cell southeast of Salisbury. There's a lot of cloud cover off to the west, but don't be surprised to get some clearing for a while this evening. And see that big low? I'll just kind of illustrate on this here for you since I'm over here at the desk. There's a huge upper level low right now. It's near Chicago. I think you can see it right there. Mm-hmm. There's a surface low here as well, but there's another surface low right over eastern Delmarva. That's going to become the main low. It's going to wind up. These two systems are going to merge together, and we're going to have a strong windstorm, 20, 25 mile per hour winds across the entire northeast third of the United States. And that's going to develop tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night, and all the way into Friday. Chilly air back across the plains. Skies have cleared there. Cold front's pushing on down toward Raleigh right now. That warm front, again, that warm front is something we really watch on a day when we have severe weather. Tornadoes like to develop just north of warm front. Sometimes you get a tornado and it's not even that warm outside in cases like that. Look at the high temperature. Salisbury, they're just barely, okay, no, hang on to this for a second. Just barely got the warm front. 64 in Salisbury. Notice how much cooler it is in Trenton and Scranton. Only in the 40s today. So that warm front right on us. The current high temperature, only 50 degrees in Dover. And now you're looking at our tidal health camera again in the Sussex County.
Clearing skies.
Yeah, that tornado, clearing skies, that tornado warning expires in 1 minute, by the way. Yeah, can we go back here and I'll jump up and put the 7-day forecast up for them, okay? And we'll show you the 7-day forecast. If we can go back to the weather graphic system. So let me just get through the maps here real quick. Winds now, look where that low is. It's right on Cambridge. That's where the warm front is as well. The guidance clears us out for a while tonight, but then we cloud right back up tomorrow, a windy day or at least breezy. And it'll be cool. I don't think we're going to get much above 52, 53 degrees. Jacket weather down to the upper 30s Friday morning, and then more clouds on Friday, maybe a spotty shower, and we may not get much above 51 or 52 degrees on Friday. And the forecast then, tonight, rain and thunder, then cool, breezy, 43. Tomorrow, it's going to be a cloudy, cool, windy day. Temperatures probably no warmer than the mid-50s, and then even cooler weather on Friday. Saturday's high 52. Does look good for the eclipse on Monday.
All right, so let's wrap things up, put a bow on this warning, which is about to expire, in about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So let's go back to what we
See
can,
it.
radar-wise. There's really nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, there's tidal health camera. You can see a few cells out there in the distance, but
Folks
all
in
in all,
Georgetown are going to get some heavy rain here shortly.
yeah, I think I can pull this back up here for a second.
Yeah, we'll
and
give
get your
one
radar here.
more check on the radar
Hang
here.
on just a second here, and I'll pull it up. Go back, and I'll do it real quick here.
It's nice to see blue skies in Seaford now.
It
So the
is,
folks
yeah.
there are
It's
happy
pretty
about
much
that.
all over with now. That cell has weakened a lot more in the last few minutes even. And there's the radar, and I'll zoom in a bit on it for you to see. So we're still watching a few of these cells. They're on the back side of the line here. They're trying to rotate just a bit, but yeah, they're not tornadic right now, but we'll have to watch them. They could definitely put down a wind gust of 50 miles per hour.
All right. So the watch box has disappeared.
Yep, it's gone. The warning
All
is
well.
gone now.
All right, we're going to wrap it up here for now. We do have WBOC News at 6 coming up in 15 minutes. We hope you'll join us.